जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव हरे गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय। प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। So this is 10th canto, 47th chapter, text 47. Oh, so sorry, 27. sarvātma-bhāvo dhikṛto bhavatīnām adhokṣaje viraheṇa mahā-bhāgā mahān me nugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ sarvātma-bhāvo dhikṛto bhavatīnām adhokṣaje viraheṇa mahā-bhāgā mahān me nugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ sarvātma-bhāvo dhikṛto bhavatīnām adhokṣaje viraheṇa mahā-bhāgā mahān me nugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ sarvātma-bhāvo dhikṛto bhavatīnām adhokṣaje viraheṇa mahā-bhāgā mahān me nugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ sarvātma-bhāvo dhikṛto bhavatīnām adhokṣaje viraheṇa mahā-bhāgā mahān me nugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ sarvātma-bhāvo dhikṛto bhavatīnām adhokṣaje viraheṇa mahā-bhāgā mahān me nugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ sarvātma-bhāvo dhikṛto bhavatīnām adhokṣaje viraheṇa mahā-bhāgā mahān me nugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ. Matajis. sarvātma-bhāvo dhikṛto bhavatīnām adhokṣaje viraheṇa mahā-bhāgā mahān me nugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ. Sarvātma, wholehearted. Bhavaḥ, love. Adhikṛtaḥ, claimed by right. Bhavatīnām, by you. Adhokṣaje, for the transcendental Lord. Viraheṇa, through this mood of separation. Mahā-bhāgāḥ, O most glorious ones. Mahān, great. Me, to me. Anugrahaḥ, mercy. Kṛtaḥ, done. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: You have rightfully claimed the privilege of unalloyed love for the transcendental Lord. O most glorious gopīs, indeed, by exhibiting your love for Kṛṣṇa in separation from Him, you have shown me great mercy. Purport: The gopīs showed not only Uddhava, but the whole world the joy of love of Godhead, and thus they bestowed their mercy on everyone. According to Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī, because their loving devotion was executed in an appropriate way, their love brought the Supreme Lord under the control. Still, to show the intensity of their love, He apparently left them, but now He again manifested Himself among them, becoming spiritually present through their intense devotion. Om ajnānatimirandhasya jnānāñjana-śalākaya chakṣurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam sthapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kadamahyam dadati swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Savdvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Kṛṣṇa Preshthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Kṛṣṇa Prema Pradayate Kṛṣṇāya Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha. He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kaṅcana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I feel extremely humbled and utterly unqualified to be sitting here. So the topic is very lofty and exalted, and the discussion that is going on, where Uddhava has visited Vrindavan and he is witnessing the love of the Vrajvasis, and especially love of the gopīs here. So therefore I feel extremely unqualified to be sitting here. It is said that even if a crow happens to sit on the top of Meru mountain and Garudji is sitting below the Meru mountain, that does not mean that crow becomes anyway more exalted than Garudji. So although I am sitting in an elevated position, but I feel that already there are so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada and others who have served the mission. So I'm like a crow sitting in midst of so many Garudjis here. So please forgive me if there are mistakes. There will be some mistakes here. So I was in dilemma when I saw the verse, because I said to Prabhuji that I will take the class, but then when I saw the verse, I saw that the topic is very lofty and I am extremely inexperienced and immature. And if we just beat around the bush and not take to the topic, then we don't do justice to the verse. That was my second dilemma. Then I thought that if we start doing justice to the topic, then there is a fear of crossing the boundary of one's own adhikar. And then just few days back, His Grace Mukundatta Prabhu was also telling that English words are not sufficient to express the mood and the love of the Vraj gopīs. So English words are also not sufficient, and then time is also limited. So with all these constraints, I was in a catch-22 situation where I don't know what to do. So with all the mercy of devotees sitting here, we will try to discuss some of these aspects of the verses spoken by Uddhava in glorification of the Vraj gopīs here. I remember a very beautiful example from one class by His Grace Panchagauda Prabhu. He was telling that if you want to make a 5-year-old child understand what is the relationship between man and a woman, will you ever be able to make him understand what relationship is there between man and a woman? It's not possible. Like if you give him books, you may give him commentaries. Will he ever be able to understand, a 5-year-old kid, will he ever be able to understand what is the relationship between man and a woman? No. Then what is the solution? What is the solution? However that child will ever be able to understand that relationship between man and a woman? The solution is that he has to grow up. He grows up by the age of 16, 17, automatically he starts understanding what is the relationship between man and a woman. And very similar to this, if we want to understand what is the relationship between Kṛṣṇa and the gopīs, we are like that 5-year-old kid. At least I can speak for myself. In trying to understand that relationship between Kṛṣṇa and gopīs, we will certainly fail no matter how many tikas or commentaries we read. So the only solution is that we have to grow up in spiritual life, and then automatically we will come to understand one day what is the relationship between Srimati Radharani and Kṛṣṇa. Now the difference is that in this case, in material world, the growing up happens automatically. But in the spiritual life, the growing up does not happen automatically. One has to strive hard. It is said that unless we are striving to advance in bhakti, we are planning to fall down. Because the forces of Maya continuously, it drags us down. So this is the only solution, that we have to strive to advance in bhakti, so that one day we will be able to understand this relationship between the gopīs and the Kṛṣṇa. So here in this section we have been reading from chapter 46 and 47 that Uddhava is visiting Vrindavan. It is said that Uddhava came with a baggage of learning. He came with a baggage of philosophical learning, and as he was visiting Vrindavan, that baggage was completely torn apart. And all the philosophical jnana and learning which Uddhava was carrying from Mathura, it was washed away by the river Yamuna. One poet says, "Ulajkar वस्त्र में काटे लगे उद्धव को समझाने, तेरा ज्ञान पर्दा फाड़ देंगे प्रेम दीवाने." That is the place where Uddhava came here in Vrindavan. That place is called Gyan Gudadi. And Gudadi means that torn apart jnana, the quilt of jnana which Uddhava was carrying with him. So as soon as he reached Vrindavan, the jnana aspect which Uddhava was carrying in his mind was washed away by the river of Yamuna. It is said that if Uddhava is carrying a mountain, a Meru mountain like jnana, when Uddhava came to Vrindavan, that Meru mountain like jnana which Uddhava was carrying was smashed to dust by the dust of Vrindavan. This is the glory of Vrindavan Dham. That therefore in here also, Sri Shukdev Goswami, while he is describing Uddhava, he says, "Prapto Nanda Vrajah Shriman." Shriman Uddhava. There is a word which is used for Uddhava in this chapter. Shriman Uddhava is coming to Vrindavan. Why Shriman? Our acharyas point out. They say that Shriman means very beautiful. Now who would say a person, when Uddhava was coming to Vrindavan, he was completely covered over by the dust of Vrindavan. Even his chariot was completely covered by the dust of Vrindavan. So somebody who is covered in dust, will he look Shriman? Will he look beautiful? But this is the nature of the glory of Vraj Raj. That as Uddhava received the Vrindavan Raj, his jnana was smashed to dust. And this is the glory of Vrindavan dust. So here, Uddhava is visiting Vrindavan and he is bringing jnana with him. Some of our acharyas, they put Uddhava on the side of impersonalists. That Uddhava is just like an impersonalist who is visiting with that impersonal jnana, and he is coming to Vrindavan. And all our acharyas, they take opportunity in this section to cut down those impersonal philosophies. And this is the nature of all our acharyas. Even Srila Prabhupada, he was so emphatic in cutting down impersonal philosophy. One time Srila Prabhupada, he was there in Amritsar, and there was a religious conference going on, and Srila Prabhupada was called. So Prabhupada was sitting and many people came there and they were talking. They were talking about what their philosophy is, and everybody was speaking about everything is one. They were all speaking about Advaita philosophy. Prabhupada was sitting there for 1 hour and he got fed up. He started to leave. So the devotee who was accompanying Prabhupada, he came to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, it's your turn. It's your turn to speak. Prabhupada said, I am fed up. Then he said, then who will represent our ISKCON society? He said, you do. And then Prabhupada went away. Now this devotee, he was completely new. He just heard few philosophies from Prabhupada. He went on, he took the mic and then he said that I have a point to make. Everything is not one. How can gulab jamun on plate which is so sweet can be one with stool lying on the road? So when people heard this, their faces frowned in disgust. And they were thinking, what kind of philosophy is this? And some people also came to Prabhupada. And they were complaining, Prabhupada, Swamiji, your American disciple, look what he is saying. He is saying us to eat stool. Prabhupada called his disciple. Then he took all that conversation that happened. Then he told that, okay, you go. These American disciples of mine, they do not know much. He went away. Then Prabhupada again called his disciple. He asked, what was that example? Stool and gulab jamun. Then that disciple, he became little fearful. He said, Prabhupada, I just knew some little philosophy. I said that, the gulab jamun cannot be equal to that stool on the street. Prabhupada said, very good example. What a brilliant example. So our acharyas, they take opportunity to cut down this impersonal philosophy, because this impersonal philosophy is completely opposite to devotional service. And here also, when Uddhava is coming, although Uddhava is not an impersonalist, but our acharyas take that opportunity to cut down that impersonal philosophy. So here we find that these gopis, they are overwhelmed by the love of Kṛṣṇa. In this section, Ujjwal Neelamani explains that the mahā-bhāgā gets divided in two parts. One is called rudha and the second one is called adhirudha. Rudha, mahā-bhāgā is for the queens of Dwaraka. And adhirudha is present only in the gopis of Vrindavan. Now that also they divide it in two parts, and they say that one is called Madan and another is called Mohan. Madan is when the gopis meet with Kṛṣṇa, and Mohan is when the gopis are separated from Kṛṣṇa. And then again they divide that Mohan, the viraha part, when the gopis are in separation, the love that they feel is called Mohan. Now again they divide it into two parts, and they say one aspect of that love is called Udghurna, and the second aspect of that love is Chitra Jalpa. And that's what we have been hearing. Chitra Jalpa is Vichitra Jalpa. Prabhupada writes various mad talks that the gopis are doing. So here the 10 verses that we just read, the Bhramar Geet, are that those Chitra Jalpa, where Srimati Radharani is expressing her mood for Kṛṣṇa, where every moment Srimati Radharani's mood is changing. Sometimes there is pride, and at the very next moment there is humility. Sometimes there is anger, and sometimes she feels completely devastated. Sometimes there is bewilderment, and sometimes there is happiness. And sometimes there is sorrow. So every moment Srimati Radharani's mood for Kṛṣṇa is changing. And Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, he explains this bhava udaya, that when Srimati Radharani, she feels, or a devotee feels one kind of an emotion, it is called bhava udaya. One kind of an emotion rises in a devotee. And then another emotion comes and mixes up with that another emotion, the first emotion, that is called bhava sandhi. Then two emotions are working, and then another emotion, another bhava comes and mixes up. It is called bhava shabalya. And then one of those emotions, it falls down. It is called bhava shanti. So this is the mood of Srimati Radharani here, where every moment she is experiencing newer and newer emotion for Kṛṣṇa, and she is expressing in utter bewilderness and bewilderment, mad, like a madman, she is talking here to Uddhava. So this is called Bhramar Geet. Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswāmī, in his Radhikāśtakam, he sings a very beautiful verse explaining this mood of Srimati Radharani. Kindly repeat after me. Ya Shanardha Krishna Vipra Yoga Santa Todita Yoga Santa Todita. He says here, Ya Shanardha. Even for a briefest moment of separation from Srimati Radharani, Ya Shana Ardha, not even one Shana, Ardha Shana. Ya Shanardha Krishna Vipra Yoga Santa Todita. If even for a briefest moment of separation from Krishna, what happens to Srimati Radharani? There are multiple emotions or multiple bhavas that come and reside in the heart of Srimati Radharani. She starts feeling so many emotions at one time. Ya Shanardha Krishna Vipra Yoga Santa Todita Nek Dainya Chapaladi Bhava Vrinda Modita. Nek Dainya Chapaladi Bhava Vrinda Modita Yatna Labdha Krishna Sangha Nirgata Khiladhika Mahā-bhāgā Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswāmī is saying that even for a briefest moment of separation from Krishna, bhava vrinda modita. There are multitudes of emotion that come and reside in the heart of Srimati Radharani. She is completely overpowered and covered over by those emotions. And yatna labdha Krishna Sangha, and by the mercy or by the help of all the gopīs, she comes to meet with Krishna, nirgata khiladhika. All her emotions or all those bhavas that were there in her heart, they fall down. That is, bhava shanti happens. And that Srimati Radharani, may we get the service of her lotus feet. Gopi bhartur pad kamalayor das dasanudasa. That is the desire of the devotees. One devotee was telling me that when our temple, ISKCON temple, was attacked in Bangladesh, so some terrorists came and they were attacking many devotees there. And one devotee, he was sitting on the bookstall and he was so much absorbed in reading Srila Prabhupada's book that he did not realize that these terrorists are coming. And that one of these terrorists, he came and he picked him up. And he pointed out a gun at him. He was an American devotee. And he started saying, "Hey, tell me what is your name? Are you Hindu?" Now this devotee, he was completely absorbed while he was reading. And suddenly there is a person coming at him and he is pointing a gun at him. And he's asking you, "Tell me what is your name?" So he was just reading in Srila Prabhupada's book that we are all servants of Kṛṣṇa. Gopi bhartur pad kamalayor das dasanudasa. And he replied to that terrorist. That terrorist got bewildered. What is this name? And then he left him out. So this devotee wrote his realization that the safest position in this world is Gopi bhartur pad kamalayor das dasanudasa. This is the safest position. And this is the mood of our acharyas. They only want to be in this mood. So this section is a very important section of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhramar Geet. There are many Geet or there are many stutis in Srimad Bhagavatam. There are numerous stutis by numerous devotees. In first canto, 8th chapter is a stuti by Kunti Devi. 9th chapter is stuti by Bhishma Deva. Second canto, 4th chapter is stuti by Brahmaji. Stuti by Shukdev Goswami. Second canto, 9th chapter is stuti by Brahmaji. Third canto, 9th chapter is again stuti by Brahmaji. Third canto, 4th canto, 9th chapter is stuti by Dhruva Maharaj. 5th canto, 18th and 19th chapter is stuti by different demigods and different devotees residing on different planes of this universe. 6th canto, 11th chapter is a stuti by Vritrasura. 7th canto, 9th chapter is stuti by Prahlad Maharaj. 8th canto, 4th chapter or 3rd chapter is stuti by Gajendra. 8th canto, 5th chapter is stuti by Brahmaji with the demigods before the Samudra Manthan. 9th canto, 4th chapter is stuti by Ambrish Maharaj. Ambrish stuti. 10th canto, 2nd chapter is Garbha stuti. But you see from here, 10th canto, 29th chapter is stuti. 21st chapter is stuti by the gopīs. This is called Venu Geet. 29th chapter is again stuti by the gopīs. This is called Pranay Geet. 31st chapter is again stuti by the gopīs. This is called Gopi Geet. 35th chapter is again stuti by the gopīs. This is called Yugal Geet. 39th chapter is again stuti by the gopīs. This is called Viraha Geet. 47th chapter is again stuti by the gopīs. This is called Bhramar Geet. So in entire Srimad Bhagavatam, if you see, there are so many stutis, but Srila Vyasadeva gives highest priority or highest respect to the stutis of the gopis. And when we read these stutis, our Acharya says that the main words, the Mukhya Vani in all of these stutis is of Srimati Radharani. So this is a stuti by Srimati Radharani. But why are we discussing Bhramar Geet here? No, we are not discussing Bhramar Geet here. But our Acharyas say that what is Bhramar Geet? Bhramar means bee and Geet means song. And Srila Prabhupada also writes the topic here, the song of the bee. And we just read the 10 verses. Are those the 10 verses sung by the bee? No. They are sung by Radharani. But those 10 verses are called Bhramar Geet. Then what is Bhramar Geet then? So our Acharyas say that Bhramar Geet is the response that Srimati Radharani had when she saw the bee. That is Bhramar Geet. But Bhramar Geet also means the Geet, the song of the bee. Who is the bee? Uddhava is the bee. Uddhava is the messenger. So therefore, these verses which are spoken by Uddhava, they are also Bhramar Geet. And in fact, our Acharyas also say that that bee is none other than Sri Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa came to Vrindavan to taste the love of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, next few verses, after Uddhava speaks, Uddhava starts speaking Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, even that is Bhramar Geet. So the entire chapter is Bhramar Geet here. So therefore, this verse that is being spoken here, they are also Bhramar Geet. So after these 10 verses are spoken by Srimati Radharani, Shri Kṛṣṇa or Shri Uddhava, this is his response when he heard these verses from Srimati Radharani. And 6 verses, Shri Uddhava is glorifying the position of the gopis here. So the first verse in this section, where Uddhava is saying, Aho yuyam sma purnartha bhavatyo loka pujita vasudeve bhagavati yasam ityarpitam mana. Uddhava is in extreme ecstasy. He is able to see the most profound aspect of love of Kṛṣṇa here by seeing the gopis. And therefore, Uddhava is saying, Aho yuyam sma purnartha, O gopis, you are the most fortunate because you have attained the most profound, sublime aspect of love of Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, your life is successful. Aho yuyam sma purnartha bhavatyo loka pujita. And not just that, you are lok pujita. Lok pujita means you are worshipped even by the demigods like Brahma and Shiva. Vasudeve bhagavati yasam ityarpitam mana. And because you have surrendered to Kṛṣṇa in this particular way, you have given your mind to Kṛṣṇa. Vasudeve bhagavati yasam iti arpitam manah. You have given your mind to Kṛṣṇa. Now one Acharya points out here that this arpitam, yasam, is in a sixth case in Sanskrit. This is called Shashti Vibhakti. Yasam. It should actually be Yabhyam, because this is Tritiya Vibhakti. When we say that this was, our minds were given to somebody. So who is giving it? The person who is there, he is giving it. So in that case, in Sanskrit, according to Sanskrit, it is the third vibhakti or the third case is used. But here, they are saying the sixth case is used. Why? Because these gopis, they are not giving their mind to Kṛṣṇa. Their minds are automatically getting attached to Kṛṣṇa. This is their glory. So Uddhava is glorifying here. Very similar to this, Uddhava has also glorified in the previous chapter the Nanda and Yashoda's love. There also Uddhava spoke that Yuvam shlaghyatam dehinam ihamanada narayana akhila guru yat krita matir idrishi. And this is the effect of seeing the love of the Vrajvasis. Uddhava is completely enchanted. He has never seen such love in Dwaraka and Mathura. And therefore he is speaking like this. And in this particular verse he is saying, sarvātma-bhāvo adhikṛto bhavatīnām adhokṣaje viraheṇa mahā-bhāgā mahān me nugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ. He is saying sarvātma-bhāvo adhikṛto. O gopis, you have surrendered to Kṛṣṇa sarvātma-bhāvo completely. Adhikṛto, this is your adhikar. This is your right. And bhavatīnām adhokṣaje, you have surrendered to that Lord who is adhokṣaja, who cannot be even captured by any senses. Viraheṇa mahā-bhāgā mahān me anugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ. By viraha, you are serving Shri Kṛṣṇa. So, our acharyas, some of them, they have given some meanings of these words here. Sarvātma-bhāvo means these gopis have surrendered to Kṛṣṇa with all their heart and soul. Sarvātmana paripurnena yo bhavo mahā-bhāvo ityartha. Sri Sanatana Goswami writes here, sarvātma-bhāvo means completely. With all their heart and soul, they have surrendered to Kṛṣṇa. Adhikṛta, the second word of this verse is adhikṛta. Adhikṛta means bhakti adhikṛta. This kind of bhakti is only possible in these gopis. It is not possible in Mathura Vasis or in Dwaraka Vasis. Therefore, adhikṛta. And adhikṛta also means adhikam kṛta. If the gopis say to Uddhava that, oh Uddhava, you are saying we are most fortunate, but look at our condition. We can't even see Kṛṣṇa. We can't meet with him. So Uddhava is saying, no, oh dear gopis, don't you know? By giving you this separation, Kṛṣṇa is doing adhikam kṛta. He is giving you an opportunity to increase your love for Kṛṣṇa. This increased love is being manifested in you only because there is viraha. Therefore, adhikam kṛta is the second meaning here. Then he says, bhavatīnām adhokṣaje. Bhavatīnām adhokṣaje. Adhokṣaje is a word which is used for Kṛṣṇa. It can be divided in two sections, adha and akṣaja. Aksha means senses. Ja means to take birth. So that experience which comes from these senses is called akṣaja. The experience which is born out of the senses. And adha means below. So adhokṣaje, the word which is used for Kṛṣṇa here, that means that Lord who always stays above the experiences of the senses, that is the meaning of adhokṣaje. Or in one way, that Lord who cannot be captured by any of the senses. The senses cannot capture that Lord. The experiences of the senses, they always remain below that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is that adhokṣaje. But you gopis, he is adhokṣaje, he cannot be captured by the senses, but you are serving Shri Kṛṣṇa by your senses. This is viruddha dharmashrayata. That although Kṛṣṇa cannot be captured by the senses, but you gopis have developed such love for Kṛṣṇa that you are serving Kṛṣṇa through your senses. This is why he is saying adhokṣaje. Then he is saying viraheṇa. In separation, you have developed the most profound, sublime and unexcelled love of Kṛṣṇa. This is why he is called viraheṇa. Mahā-bhāgā means most fortunate. Most fortunate, why? Because even Kṛṣṇa is desirous. That Kṛṣṇa who is Atmaram and Aptakam, his desires are completely fulfilled from time immemorial. But that Kṛṣṇa desires to taste your love. Therefore, mahā-bhāgā. And then he says, mahān anugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ. And you gopis are showing me a great mercy. Uddhava is saying, you gopis are showing me. This is a great mercy upon me. Therefore he is saying, mahān anugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ. Me mahān anugrahaḥ kṛtaḥ. That you are showing a great mercy upon me. So mahān anugrahaḥ means that this kind of mercy was not shown any time before. Kṛṣṇa showed lot of mercy to me. Kṛṣṇa gave lot of mercy to me. He gave me birth in a family where I got devotional credits from the very beginning of my life. It is said that Uddhava, when he was a small child, he was so attached to Kṛṣṇa. This is Kṛṣṇa's mercy. Then Kṛṣṇa also gave me a place to be in Mathura. This is also Kṛṣṇa's mercy. But now that Kṛṣṇa is showing this mercy upon me, that I have got an opportunity to come to Vrindavan and get to see the love that is being exhibited, this mahā-bhāvo, which is the most rarest form of the love, this is mahān anugrahaḥ. This is a great mercy upon me. Therefore, he is saying mahān anugrahaḥ. Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Uddhava is saying that, O gopis, even in my wildest of dreams, even in my thoughts, I could not have even thought of that such an extent of love of Kṛṣṇa can even exist in this world. What to speak of comprehending that love. But you gopis have given me that opportunity. And if the gopis asks Uddhava that, Uddhava, we are feeling separation from Kṛṣṇa. We are completely immersed in viraha of Kṛṣṇa. How is it mercy upon you? Then Uddhava, Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur here, he says, Yadi bhavatīnām viraho na bhavishyat. If you would not got to have this separation, if you would not have separated from Kṛṣṇa and you would not have got this viraha, tada Kṛṣṇo na mam prasthapayishyat, then Kṛṣṇa would not have sent me to Vrindavan. Aham cha etad āścaryam na drakṣam iti. Then I would not have been able to see this most profound, exalted love which is manifesting in your hearts. Therefore, svabhagya paravadhiruktah. Therefore, I am the most fortunate in this world. Therefore, Uddhava is saying here. So this is the most profound and sublime love which Uddhava is experiencing. And Uddhava is able to see that love in the Vraj Gopis and especially in Srimati Radharani. It is said that when Uddhava, he brought all the letters which Kṛṣṇa wrote for these gopis. He brought all the letters and he was standing in front of the gopis. These gopis were profusely crying tears of separation from Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, Uddhava, he is very intelligent. He is buddhi sattama. Therefore, Uddhava did not give those letters to the gopis. He took those letters and he read it because he knew that if I give these letters to these gopis, they are feeling there is so much heat of separation that as soon as these letters go in the hands of the gopis, it will become, it will burn to ashes. And if, or otherwise, there is so much, they are crying so many tears of separation that these tears will wash away all the ink. And therefore Uddhava very meticulously, is very intelligent. He did not give these letters to these gopis and he read it for them. It is said that when Uddhava was going away from Vrindavan, he was going back. These gopis, they are feeling so much separation from Kṛṣṇa that they say, Uddhava, you are going back. Kṛṣṇa has given us the letters. We will also write something for Kṛṣṇa. And these gopis, they come and they plan to write letters to Kṛṣṇa. But as soon as they touch the pen, the ink dries up. As soon as they touch the paper burns away. And some of these gopis, they even try to write something. They sit down. And now they are trying to write something. But they are not able to decide how to start. This is their condition. Now, what is the sambodhan? How should I express my feeling? These gopis are thinking, how should I express? What should I say to Kṛṣṇa? And they write up. They say, O Kṛṣṇa, O dear friend, O Aryaputra. And suddenly, because of extreme separation, suddenly anger rises in these gopis. And they say, O Kapati, O Dhurta, you mischievous trickster, you playful deceiver. And then they think, oh, what am I writing? If Kṛṣṇa hears this, if Kṛṣṇa gets to read all of this, he will never come to Vrindavan. And then they scratch that out. So this is the condition of these gopis. They are feeling such separation from Kṛṣṇa. And this kind of intensity of love was always there in Vrindavan, but it got manifest when Kṛṣṇa went away. When Kṛṣṇa was there in Vrindavan also, these gopis were completely immersed in Kṛṣṇa. It is said that when Kṛṣṇa would play his flute, these gopis who were doing the household work, they were completely immersed in household work, they would not be able to do the household work. One poet in Vrindavan very beautifully depicts the condition of these gopis when they would hear the flute. He says that when these gopis, they are preparing sweet rice and they hear Kṛṣṇa's flute in their ears and they get so much enchanted that instead of putting sugar, they put salt. Now they are preparing dal. When they are preparing dal, instead of putting salt, they put sugar. Kheer mein noon, dal mein chini, makhan mein marchai. And gauko saag. They prepared a very nice sabji for their family members. And in their bewildered state of existence, they take all that sabji and they feed it to the cows. Now this was still okay. Gau ko saag and sasur ko bhuso. They give to the cows, they give all that sabji. And all that was supposed to be given to the cows, they give to their father-in-laws. Aisi mati baurai. So this is their condition. They were always absorbed in Kṛṣṇa, but this mood of separation that manifested in these gopis, when Kṛṣṇa went away, that is showing the most sublime and most exalted aspect of these gopis. And this aspect that we see in these gopis was never understood before Shriman Mahaprabhu. It was only when Mahaprabhu came and he exhibited that love, he showed that in his pastime, and he also empowered his devotees, our acharyas, to write these literatures by which we will even be able to approach and try and understand these moods. It was only because of Mahaprabhu. Yadi gaur na haito tabe ki haito के मोने धरी ताम दे राधार महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगते जानतो के मधुर वृंदा विपिन माधुरी प्रवेश चातुरी सार ब्रज युवती भावेर भक्ति शकति होइतो कार. If it was not for Mahaprabhu's mercy, however, we would have even tried and approached these pastimes of Sri Krishna. I remember one dear friend of mine who is personal servant of Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Maharaj. He was telling me that when Maharaj came to Vrindavan last time, he was saying that so many devotees were lining up to see the beautiful darshan of Shri Radha Shyama Sundar. There was so much crowd in front of Srimati Radha Rani and Shri Shyama Sundar. And in front of Gaur Nitai, it was like vacant. It was scantily populated. So he was telling me that Maharaj noted this, and then he commented that these devotees, they do not understand. They think that by standing in front of Radha Shyam Sundar, they will get the mercy of Radha Shyam Sundar, while the mercy is lying on the other side of the altar. Shriman Mahaprabhu ki jai. So if it was not Mahaprabhu who came and showed us this aspect of love, however, we would have got even tried to approach. And if it was not for Nityananda Prabhu, who was so compassionate, Mahaprabhu showed the love of the gopis, but how many people understood? Therefore, Nityananda Prabhu's mercy was needed. And that is why it is said, Nitaye karuna habe braje radha Krishna pabe. It is only by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu we will at least get some mercy by which we will be able to approach these works. And if it was not for Srila Prabhupada's mercy, how on earth we would have got even access to these literatures, and Mahaprabhu's mercy and Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. So ultimately it all boils down to Srila Prabhupada's mercy. If he would have not gone to the West, if he did not leave Vrindavan and go to the West and preach the message of Sriman Mahaprabhu, we would have never got these literatures by our acharyas. We would have never got this, even to read Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, it is only because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy that we can approach these texts in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if there are any questions or comments, please. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Also in the beginning you were giving the example of a small 5-year-old boy, and as we grow, automatically we understand. So similar way you were speaking of the spiritual life. The spiritual life, how we come to know when we associate with Prabhupada and his books. In that way we come to know this all whatever the shastras are speaking. So this is the mercy of Prabhupada. Understand everything. Otherwise, just like a materialist person, he cannot understand what's going on.
Yes.
By the mercy of Prabhupada, we can understand this Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-Gita.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
You spoke in the last part of the class about without the mercy of Prabhupada and we can't realize this they are not in Gaudiya Sampradaya, they are basically investigating about all these verses. So, my question is, how we like to say that they are not able to understand, we are able to understand? It's something like false.
No, when we say that it is only because of Mahaprabhu's mercy we can understand, it is actually meant to, increase our intensity and our nishtha towards Mahaprabhu. When you are saying that there are other sampradayas who are also discussing, so yes, there are sampradayas, there are authentic Gaudiya or authentic Vaishnava sampradayas who can have access to some of these moods. But for us, at least we can clearly see that it is only because of Mahaprabhu, right, that we can even approach these pastimes and literature. So I am not saying that there are other sampradayas who cannot get access. But we can actually specifically see that because of Mahaprabhu, the preaching that happened in this movement never happened in any other sampradaya. And you may say that this is only because we are in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, I am speaking like this. Yes, it is natural that we speak like this. It is because it increases our nishtha for our Sampradaya. And this is how we should see. So I don't see any problem if there are other Sampradayas who are also discussing. If they have an authentic literature which they can discuss, yes, they can go ahead and discuss. There is no problem. But for us, only because of Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. That's what I was... Yes, we are very fortunate. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Very wonderfully explained. And just to add to this point, it is said in the Shastra, a tree is known by its fruits. So, we see, like Prabhuji said, that the preaching that is seen here in our glorious movement is none in any other sampradaya. And we see by the results how many devotees it is making. Does that make sense? Phalena, the tree is known by its fruit.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Hare Krishna. Is there any question or anything?
You mentioned at the beginning of the class that we need to become spiritually mature. So what is the means to become spiritually mature?
The means is association of advanced devotees. We be in association of devotees, and more advanced devotees, the more we associate with them, they can actually transfer their maturity in us. That is the means.
How to associate?
By serving them, by doing Vani and Vapu Seva in whatever means possible. If we don't have Vapu Seva, then we do Vani Seva. We hear them, we try to follow their instruction. That is the means. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
our acharyas, the Gaudiya acharyas, they have the mode of bhavatīnām, according to Rupa Goswāmī. So what is that? That the servant of Radharani, the Lalita Sakhi, and the servant of Manjari, Rupa Manjari, and Rupa Manjari is servant, and then her sadhaka form in this world is Rupa Goswāmī. So therefore there is 2 times repeatedly it is being used that tat-tat-bhāva is not, where the servant of the mood of the heroine is Srimati Radharani. So any literature we take, suppose we read mahā-bhāgā also, say, for example, Jiva Goswāmī writes this mahā-bhāgā also. So any of our acharyas writes some kind of literature, some pastimes of Radha Krishna, they write in such a way as if they are in that particular pastime, and they are in the pastime, and they are in the sadhaka part, in the Goswami part. They are writing, they are eyewitnessing the pastime. So this exclusiveness we find in our Gaudiya literature, our Bhagavad-Gita and Jiva Goswāmī and other many Vishwanath literature, which we find in our sampradaya.
Actually, yeah, what you are saying is right. Just one point here. See, when we are discussing about our sampradaya nishtha increases. That is what it is meant to do. But I'll tell you something very important, that we should not, in the name of nishtha, we should not decry other sampradayas, because we do not know their literatures. I'll tell you an example. We think that Sri Sampradaya is only about worship of Lakshmi and Narayana. I belong, because my parents were part of Sri Sampradaya, I know there are literatures, even in Sri Sampradaya, there is a devotee, Andal, Goda Devi, the temple of Goda Devi here is in Vrindavan. If you see her literatures, she is one of the Alavars. She has written extensively on the love of Radha and Kṛṣṇa in Vrindavan. Nachiyar Tirumoi is that literature in Tamil. So we cannot say that the other sampradayas don't have. They have access, but the way Mahaprabhu explained and showed us, it was made available to the public, was never done before. Even in Sri Sampradaya, there are other acharyas like Tyagaraja Swami or Annamaya, some of these from the South India. Their literatures, they profusely write about Krishna Leela, and some of them, they also say that may I become the servant of Srimati Radharani and get to serve their lotus feet. So although when we are discussing this and when we say that it was Mahaprabhu's mercy, it is only meant to increase our nishtha. But that does not mean that we can ever decry the other Vaishnava literatures, because we have never gone through them. What we know is that we know about the Gaudiya Sampradaya and the literatures here. So that is the one comment that I would like to give. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.